night therein the heroes gathered. Ea and Alalu and Anzu, the doings considered, all that was indeed was good. So again, on day 6th, and that was the evening and the morning of day 6, on day 6th, he took into account the creatures of the wild, similar to the Bible. So let's get into day 7, the Sabbath. Thus in the heavens and the earth and all the host of them were finished. On the 7th day God ended his work which he had done, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had done. Then God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because he rested from all the work which God had created and made. Now, I'm sorry, if you want to consider God as a celestial being, and maybe this is just my opinion, again, I'm not speaking for the Freemasons podcast, it's simply my opinion. If you're a celestial being that's all-powerful, why the hell would you need to rest? Just throwing that out there. People, mortals who are tired from doing all this shit, need to rest. So let's see what Enki did, or excuse me, Ea at this point, did on day 7. On the 7th day, the heroes in the encampment were assembled. To them Ea spoke these words. A hazardous journey we have undertaken, from Nibiru to the 7th planet, a dangerous way we traversed. At Earth we successfully arrived, much good we attained, an encampment we established. Let this day be a day of rest, the 7th day hereafter a day of rest always to be. Let this place henceforth by the name Eridu be called, home in the far away, the meaning thereof will be. Let a promise be kept. Let Alalu of Eridu the commander be declared. The heroes thus assembled, in unison agreements shouted. Words of consent Alalu uttered. Then homage to Ea he greatly paid. Let Ea a second name be given. Nudimud, the artful fashioner, let him be called. In unison the heroes' agreement announced. It was evening and it was morning of the 7th day. So Alalu renamed, or gave him a second name, which is Nudimud, the artful fashioner. Nudimud. Okay. So now this is the account of how the searching for gold was began. So we sit here and we're now going to be talking about the gold and why they were looking for gold, and it's quite interesting that I find actually here, and I have the Torah actually open.
I'm going to get hated as I have in previous videos where I mention the colour of a skin. Okay, but I'm just going to read it out as it goes. So the first Adam, which was called Adamu with a U, was a cross between the Neanderthals, we believe, which were black race, no problem there, and the Anunnaki's DNA, or essence as I actually called it. And so the first human, Homo sapiens sapien, that they actually allowed to carry on existence was described as red skin, dark red, like the clay, the colour of the clay in the ground, and they were in Africa. So the first Adam was actually red in colour as opposed to actually black, which surprises me. And the female that they ended up creating had fair hair and pale skin like the Anunnaki, which makes sense. So don't hate me, just researching. Think you know this story? Think again. So the original version of how babies were found in reeds was because Enki, the alien god that's on Earth at the time, saw two Earth women, and these are Earth women that he had created 300,000 years or 200,000 years prior, and obviously they had offspring, and eventually Enki saw two of these offspring and thought, I'll have my wicked way with them, and he did, and they became pregnant, and this was a no-no because obviously it messes with the Anunnaki bloodline. And so he pretended, him and his pilot pretended that they found the two babies in bull reeds in sort of a reed basket. This got round the fact that he did something that he shouldn't have done, and that is the story of Adam and Eve, the second lot of Adam and Eve, not the first lot back in Africa. Moses receives the Ten Commandments. Now, he actually now is glowing, which was different from when he went up. Now, we know there's a couple of other descriptions of people that glowed. Noah glowed and Jesus glowed. But Moses glowed after he went up into the ship. Now, could he have been a clone or some other thing? For him to suddenly start glowing, he had to even cover his face. It was that bright. Now, he was on top of Mount Sinai, probably pronounced wrong. And let's just take a moment to look at logic here. So there's Mesopotamia, which is where it all started. Now, where do you think Mount Sinai is? Anywhere in the world. It could be UK, Australia, anywhere in the world. Have a guess. Go on. Is it? Yeah, it's right near Mesopotamia. So the logic is that the Anunnaki were definitely there. Zecharia Sitchin, in his very first book called The 12th Planet, suggests that the Great Flood was caused by an ice shelf breaking off and raising the waters. Now, that's not impossible, because in 2015 there was a Texas-sized ice shelf broke off of the Antarctic, which could have raised the water level by 10 foot. Now, Zechariah suggests that it was even bigger than that and would have raised the water by 60 foot. But that doesn't actually then coincide with the 40 days and 40 nights of rain. Just because an ice shelf broke off, it doesn't mean that you're going to have 40 days and 40 nights of rain, as per the Bible. But down the line, in one of Zecharia Sitchin's other books, which was the Lost Book of Enki, he's obviously learnt more since he wrote the first book, and he now actually reads the proper text, which says that the planet Nibiru is what caused the waters to flood and to rain that